Let me just start out by saying that there's no big reveal in this video. It's not like, oh, white girl finds out she's 20% whatever. I'm so white, it's probably illegal. So, you wanted a video intro. I'm Amanda and you're watching Swell Entertainment. Let me start out this video by saying that I am in no way a professional on the topic of genetics in any way, shape, or form. I'm an English major. I took one biology course, I got a B. The most qualified person in this video is my Dr. Pepper. This video is simply an in-depth review of my experience with 23andMe and the things you should be aware about if you are thinking about purchasing a kit or purchasing a kit for a gift. So I'm just gonna get my results out of the way really quick. I am 100% European. I'm so white, there's probably definitely some inbreeding at one point or another. I'm so white, so white. You know in all the ads for 23andMe, how they show the maps of everyone's ancestry and it's all rainbow and beautiful and colorful? I'm just like 50 shades of blue. Honestly, I expected that. I did not doubt that I was white. That was not my concern. That's not why I wanted to do 23andMe. Full disclosure, I did not pay for my kit. It was not given to me as a gift. My friend and I went to a Jimmy Kimmel taping. It happened to be on World DNA Day, and they happened to be giving out 23andMe kits to everyone that attended. So me and my friend both got ours for free. Later on in this video, you're gonna see my friend Jordan. Hers was given to her by a gift. A couple things you should probably know about 23andMe. It's not cheap. The Ancestry kits are $99, and the full health report with the Ancestry and the health report included is $199. The kit I got was an Ancestry kit, so that's all I'm going to be talking about because that's the only kit I have experience with. Now, the kit you get comes with the tube and an instructions and a service bag, and the box then reseals so that you can ship it out easily. It has a packing slip already attached to it. You don't have to do anything as far as shipping goes. Spit in the tube, seal it up, drop it off, and that's how it is. Fairly simple. The thing is that you do have to wait 30 minutes before you do the spit sample. The waiting 30 minutes aspect is referring to not eating or drinking for 30 minutes before you give the spit sample. Registering my kit was very easy. So once you get a box, you open it up, there's a number on the inside of the tube, and you just have to go on the website, create an account, and log it in. Fairly simple. They then email you a confirmation saying that your kit has been registered. I registered my kit through the 23andMe website on the 26th of April, and I ended up sending out my kit on the 30th. On May 2nd is when I received an email saying that my sample had been received at the lab. On the website, when they're testing your sample, you get a little bar saying progress of like, oh, kit's been received, DNA has been extracted, DNA is being tested. I can no longer find them on the website now that I have gotten my result, and I don't know if that's just a progress bar and then that goes away. I'm currently unable to find it, but I do have the email confirmation, so I know the time frame. Now, my sample was received on the 2nd. I believe my data collection started, them extracting the DNA was either the 3rd or 4th. I received an email saying my reports were ready on the 10th. I got my results in a little over a week. And that was shocking to me because my friend Jordan, who you'll see later in this video, it took her about 8 weeks to get her results. I did ask 23andMe about this, but I'll get to that later. But it was my understanding that maybe because she did have more variation, whereas I was predominantly, entirely European, that it was easier for them to match my genes versus her, where they had to look at other samples because there was more variation. I don't know if what I said made any sense. Again, I'm not a professional. So when you get your results, you'll get your ancestry point, you'll get your haploid groups, you'll get a bunch of different stuff. So you'll see this screen. Mine said I was 29.3% Eastern European. That's the predominant ancestry variation that I have in my lineup. My maternal haploid group is H13A1A. And again, I'm not entirely sure what that means. It's my understanding that the haploid group is basically just talking about migration patterns from when you migrated from throughout your life. Now, my results did say that I don't have a paternal haploid group, but my father may have a paternal haploid group. So basically that means I am a mutant, and I expect my abilities any day now. I never got my Hogwarts letter. I've earned this. I'm a dumbass. Obviously, I don't have a paternal haploid group. It would show up on the Y chromosome. I don't have one of those. Your results also can show you people that have also used the service that you are related to. I'm not going to show the results that I got solely because I had 1,057 people linked up in mine, and I don't want to get their permission to film that. It also shows you your Neanderthal variants. I had 269 variants, and that is 60% less than most 23andMe customers, so probably have alien DNA in me somewhere. Or lizard people. Who knows? They also offer you a bunch of different research quizzes you can take and answer. I did answer a couple of them, but you don't have to. I reached out to 23andMe with a couple of questions that I could not find the answers to on their website. Evidently, all the answers that I was looking for were in fact on their website and I just clearly wasn't looking hard enough. I'm great at research. Every answer I'm going to discuss, I will put the link that they gave me down in the description box below. Through their customer support area, I sent them this email. Hi, I'm making a YouTube video about my experience with 23andMe, and I had a couple of questions that I can't find answers to on your questions page. 1, what do your labs do with the samples after the DNA is extracted, is disposed of, is it stored? 2, what is the likelihood that someone could break into your facilities and steal my DNA, then use it to frame me for a major crime? 3, my results came in a little over a week, but my friend didn't get her results for almost 2 months. Why is that? 4, law enforcement has discussed using familial DNA services in an effort to crack cold cases. Will 23andMe be participating in this effort? And then I mentioned that I understand if legally they can answer some of my questions. Within 24 hours, they got back to me with at least a paragraph answer for each question that I asked. I appreciate that a lot. I put screenshots of their whole response up on the screen, but I don't want to sit here and read the whole thing to you, so if you just want to pause it and watch that, no problem. For the first question about what they do with the sample afterwards, you register your sample and give your sample. You are given a consent form on the website where you are told to confirm yes or no of whether or not they're allowed to store your sample. Personally, I don't remember doing that, but I also don't read through everything that I sign because I'm a terrible adult. Basically, when you give consent, you consent to storing your sample for at least a year and a maximum of 10 years, and it's my understanding that that's when the sample is corroded or begins corroding. I'm not sure. You're also giving them consent to analyze and test the DNA at will. Personally, I'm not concerned with being cloned. I am a subpar excuse for a human. I'm not super attractive. I'm not funny. I'm not smart. And I don't make enough money for 2 people. There's no point in making a second me. So it just seems like a lot of effort for minimal results. If you want to go through that effort to clone me, go for it, but you're wasting your time. One of Shane Dawson's more recent conspiracy theory videos mentioned 23andMe. I'll link his video down below because he did have some good points. For my second question about someone potentially being able to steal my DNA and frame me for a major crime, they gave me a paragraph answer detailing their security measures for their facilities and how much they try and protect our information. It is mostly what I wanted to hear, but they also didn't say anything about, oh no, once we extract the DNA, there's not nearly a large enough sample for it to be feasibly used to frame you for a major crime. I have zero intention of ever committing a major crime, but you know, things happen and I like to say never, so I'm sure if you don't watch this video when you're at my trial as a juror, this video will be played. Another DNA service, not 23andMe, was actually hacked more recently. I will link that article down below. I think most online companies, online services are at risk of hackers, and it's something that you as a consumer and a product user looking into these products where they have your personal information, whether it's DNA, social security number, phone number, address, credit card information, anything, I think you need to be aware of that. My third question was about my results came really quick, my friends did not, what's the deal with this? Their answer kind of implies that they think that I think that they don't think I'm important enough to give my DNA enough attention. That wasn't my question. I was trying to understand why that might be the possibility. They just talked about like, oh, we give all priority to all DNA samples. The 6 to 8 week processing time is an estimate, and I was like, okay, but less than 2 weeks. So my understanding about more variation versus less variation, taking more time, I'm sticking with that. May not be scientifically sound, but I'm sticking with my hunch. Now, my final question about the whole law enforcement and familial DNA is something that's been kind of a hot topic in the news more of late, but also here in California. I'm a true crime fanatic in my day-to-day life. Something that remarkably happened in the last 2 months was that the Golden State Killer was caught. I have no idea who the Golden State Killer is. Look him up. He was also known as the original Night Stalker, the East Area Rapist. These crimes happened in the 70s and the 80s. This is such an old case and something that was unsolved for decades. They re-looked into the case, and within 4 months they tracked him down from familial DNA. They didn't find him through 23andMe, they didn't find him through Ancestry.com. It was a distant cousin who had uploaded their DNA to a public domain website, which is why the law enforcement was able to access that and use it and ended up tracking him down. There's a lot of talk saying like, oh, this is the future of crime solving, so many cold cases will be solved, which is why I asked, is this something that you will be willing to participate in? 23andMe's response saying that they have yet to give up any information, they have no intention of doing so, they protect their users' information. They linked me a transparency report that shows the amount of times they've been contacted. I think that's a good point to make, but I mean, down the line, that could easily change. But I'm just one user for 23andMe, so to get a little bit different perspective, I went to talk to my friend Jordan, Jordan, who also did 23andMe. Hi, I'm here with my friend Jordan. She also did 23andMe, and obviously her reasons for doing 23andMe are different than my reasons for doing 23andMe, so I decided I was gonna talk to her about that. Why did you do 23andMe?
I am adopted and I have not ever known any part of my birth family, sort of, whatever, and never really reached out to them. The only things I know about them are from like adoption papers and whatever. That's just like self-proclaimed, oh, I'm Irish. Oh, the father is German. I wanted to know always, and my mom wanted me to know.
How long did it take you to get your results?
It took me about 2 months to get my results, I think. At the 6-week mark, I was like, oh, where the hell are they?
They forgot about you.
Yeah, they forgot me. Sorry.
Were there any results that you were concerned about? Or that you were not concerned about, surprised by?
I was mostly European. I think it was about like 60 to 70% European, British, Irish, German, whatever. And that wasn't very surprising, but I actually had a lot of like Spanish and Native Mexican in me, I think totaling around 20%. Yeah, I mean Native Mexican. I'm white.
Her map is actually colorful. Mine's just blue.
Mine's kind of spread out a little bit around the world. It's actually really nice.
You also use the basically the relative search where they link you with other people who are related to you that have also used 23andMe. Have you thought about contacting anyone? Have you contacted anyone? Has anyone contacted you?
I have used the DNA relatives tool. I think the closest person related to me is like a first cousin. I don't think that's close enough for me to reach out. Someone closer to me popped up on there, like a parent or grandparent. Maybe I'd reach out. Who knows?
Is there anything about 23andMe that concerns you?
Not really.
Is there anything else you want to touch on for 23andMe before I close out your portion of this video?
I don't have any concerns, really.
Okay. So if you were framed for a major crime tomorrow because of 23andMe?
I'm not worried about being framed for major crime. I don't do anything.
Oh, God.
All right, are we good?
I think we're done. Do you want to sign off?
How do I sign off?
Just say goodbye.
Bye, guys! Oh, my arm just cracked. Did you hear?
In conclusion, would I do 23andMe again? If I had to pay for it, no. I make 50 cents over minimum wage. I am a full-time student. There's no way I could feasibly swing a $99 kit. Knowing what I do now about the government and the samples and the potential cloning. Again, like I said before, I don't plan on doing any major crime. Them cloning me is a waste of time. I mean, if they wanted to clone me to try and make me like a superior being, like super hot with great boobs and a sparkling personality, I mean, they can try. It just, again, sounds like a lot of work. So I'm not too worried about that. As far as data breaches, I think that that's something that's a risk for most websites. I think data breaches are a risk at any company, just like the one that happened with MyHeritage. As far as the results go, could I have gone my whole life without finding out that I was 17% Irish? Yes. It's not something that predominantly affects my well-being or my day-to-day life. So if you know you're white and you want to find out how Irish you are or how Scottish you are, do this at your own discretion. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I just wanted to do an in-depth review. Personally, I think this may be a waste of time. I understand Jordan's reason for doing it. It's really up to you. That's pretty much all I have to say. For me, the price alone is something that I can't vibe with. Thank you for watching this I tried this thing so you don't have to video. Hopefully this is the first I tried this thing so you don't have to video and a series of them, but I wouldn't hold your breath. I'm terrible at following through with things. Peace out, rock on, sleep tight.